with my homegirl in Miami. And when I say homegirl, I mean, yeah, we was friends, but we also was sometimes, okay? And I know y'all told me, like, but this was in 2022. Let me set the scene, okay? So, long story short, it was a girl. I had met her at Magic City, okay? Now, she was a cool girl until she kind of started becoming weird. Let me tell you the weirdest thing that she did. She lied about her race, okay? So, this whole time, I'm thinking she's mixed. She's completely Caucasian, okay? But she was cosplaying as a mixed girl. She would tell everybody that she was mixed. But then, excuse me. But then I found out that she was completely whitey, okay? Let me just start the story with that. So anyways, me and her was cool or whatever. I've did a story time on this person before. If y'all remember me talking about Tokyo Valentino, remember story time when that one girl would just let me do whatever, and me and her went to Tokyo Valentino, and I bought the thing, and she let me use the thing. If you know, you know. But anyways, so life was crazy at this point. So yeah, we ended up like, you know, just kind of becoming cool, and then we would have like little sleepovers, and we would, yeah, okay, and she would just let me try whatever I never tried before, so I would just, you know. But it also scared me. It also scared me, because girls that let you do anything will let anybody else do anything. Clock it. Anyway, so at this point, we decided we're going to go to Miami. She had a little yeah out there. I had a yeah out there. Okay, cool. Let's go to Miami. Remind me to tell y'all the story time about the Jet, New Orleans, and the football player, because she fucked that whole thing up too. Anyways, we decided we're going to Miami. Okay, at this point, like, she had become very, like, manipulative, okay? Like, we would go to work, and like, if I would make money and like she wouldn't make money, she would like tell me like I'm not being there for her and stuff like that. Like, it really started getting weird. But it's like I was trying to really just put it to, you know, mental illness. I'm just kidding. Just girls go through a lot of stuff, so that's what I put it on. Anyway, so we end up getting on a flight. We go to Miami. When we land in Miami, her picks us up from the airport, okay? Picks us up from the airport. We end up stopping by his house. I don't know why we did that, because we just go straight to the hotel. So as we stopped there or whatever, he changes. He gave her like, or said he got her some shoes, but she had left like her stuff except for like one duffel bag there. And I think it was because he bought her plane ticket, so she wanted him to think like, oh, I'm not in Miami, just, you know, do whatever, I'm here with you. But she brought like a duffel bag with a lot of stuff in it. And when we went to my room, or our room, sorry, it wasn't just mine. So anyways, he ends up pretty much changing, and he said he had her some shoes, but the shoes stayed there. Her luggage stayed there except for like a duffel bag. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, like, she's like, tell him to take you to the room so we can like go check into the room, because like I'm gonna have to figure a way like out of this, because he thinks I'm staying with him. And I'm like, okay, girl, like I got you, whatever. So I'm like, hey, do you think you can send me to my room? They just called and said it's time that I could check in or whatever, and I just, you know, I wanna, you know, get comfortable. So at this point, we probably were at his house for, I want to say, 45 minutes. So we get in the car. Now, mind you, I know who her yeah is, but he don't know who I am. Like that, if that makes sense. Actually, I think he knew. The whole time I think he knew, but we'll get there. So anyways, we ended up going, and I had got a room at the Mondrian, okay? We had actually split the room because she was like, yeah, no, I'm coming to the room. I'm staying at the room. Like, I'm not staying with this man the whole time. Like, she was like, I got other things going on. I'm like, okay, period. So I get us a suite, okay? We have like a 2-bedroom suite, cute, nice, whatever. Now I would say it's like a 3-4 out of 5 stars, okay? So anyways, at this point, I go to the room, we check in or whatever. She pretty much tells him and lies to him. And she's like, hey, like, my friend, she's like having like a rough time right now. I'm gonna come back and hang out with you later. So he's like, well, let's just go eat. So she was like, well, let me ask her. So then she asked me if I want to go eat, and I was like, no, not really, but I mean, we could, okay? So we end up going to eat with him, all right? So when we go eat, everything is cool, we just chilling. So then he's like, he has wondering eyes, okay? So when I say he has wondering eyes, like, I kept on seeing him look at me, but I'm like this. Like, you know, because it's like, I don't want nothing that if it's my homegirls, that's yours, okay? That's your little thing. But also, me and her was doing this, and I don't know if she told him that, and that's what made him think that maybe it coulda, woulda, shoulda, okay? Should have not. So anyways, from here we go eat, everything's fine or whatever, and then pretty much he's asking me like, what's up with us, like, what's up with us, if we want to go do something tonight. And I'm like, no, I don't, because he was cool with my yeah, Okay, like my long-term yeah at that point. But I don't know if he knew how we were, if that makes sense, right? Because these niggas share them all. They share them all. They don't care. They do not care. But anyways, for me, I was not crossing that line. I know what line's not the motherfucking cross. Anyways, okay. So at this point, he ends up taking me back to the room. She ends up actually staying with me. So I don't know what lie she told him, but she comes upstairs, whatever. She has her duffel bag, but all the rest of her stuff is at his house. And I'm sitting here like, girl, if I were you, I wouldn't have did that. You don't ever leave your stuff. You should have just told him that, like, you were going to check in with me just to leave your stuff somewhere. And then she was like, well, he paid for my ticket. I'm like, whatever, okay? So at this point, and I really want to get this done in 2 parts. Oh my God, let me hurry the fuck up. So anyways, at this point, we're chilling, whatever. So she's getting dressed and she's saying that she's going to go hang out with somebody. I don't know. I tell her, okay, cool. The sun has already set, okay? So the sun has set. It's probably about 6:30 or whatever. I tell her I'm going to go sit by the pool, okay? I remember because I was reading the 48 Powers of Law. Okay, and I was at a point in life where I was wanting to read by the sunset and do cute shit like that, and oh, I'm reading by the pool, you know. Okay, cool. So I end up going downstairs and staying at the Mondrian. If you know, you walk outside the Mondrian is pool, then there's like day beds, then there's chairs, then there's a section over here that people try to get to first. It's first come first serve, or if you like buy it, then there's one on the other side, okay, directly like it. So these are like the 2 sections on the outside of Mondrian. If you know what the Mondrian is, I always tell y'all, it's the if you wanna go to the hotel, it's the hotel, okay, for real. I don't know if it's like that anymore. But anyway, so at this point, I go downstairs, I'm walking outside. When I walk outside, the pool's closed down, but you can still go sit out there. But there's nobody out there except a group of men in this like other section. So I pace it this way because, to be honest, I was out there and I was going to see my little yeah. And I was at a point in life where it's like I was dancing, but I wasn't dancing because I had my own little, you know? Okay, cool. So I ain't really want no other nigga. But anyway, so I end up going, I'm sitting down, I'm vibing. Now, when I had first walked outside, I knew somebody was over there. You want me to tell you why? This is how you know that like it's a rapper or it's an artist or something like that. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna see a big group of people, okay? You're gonna see 2 security guards with fanny packs across them like this. And then you're gonna see the rest of the entourage surrounded. So anyways, at this point, I already know somebody's over there, but I'm not pressed about it. I go sit down. So I go sit down. Next thing I know, this big security guard come up to me. He's like, hey, yo, such and such is over here. We're going to give him a name. We'll give her a name. Her name is Lisa. His name is Tevin. Okay, so he's like, yeah, Tevin's over here, and he really says his artist name. It's a rapper, okay? So I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, you want to come over here? I said, no, he can come over here. Like, he can come over here because what the fuck do I look like walking up to a group of men that I do not know? And there was like at least like 6 of them, right? Next thing I know, Tevin comes with all his friends. They all push up on me. So he like, what's up? My name's Tevin. What's your name? Like, yeah, I'm Courtney. Nice to meet you. He's like, what are you in town doing? I was like, oh, I just came in with my homegirl. We just chilling. We just here catching tan. We just vibing. When in reality, I went to Miami to see my little yeah, but if I wanted to work, I could have worked. I ain't have to work. Okay, cool. So anyways, at this point, me and him is just chilling, but I text her, hey, so I just met Tevin by the pool. He got a group of homeboys with him. They all look like they got the same thing going on. They all look like they got a little bag or whatever. Are you coming down? So she's like, yeah, I'll be right there. She was not going to where she said she was going. She was supposed to be leaving. She comes right down, okay? Makeup not even done. Comes downstairs. So when she comes downstairs, keep that in mind. That means that she was rushing. I just want y'all to hear that. So she ends up coming downstairs. Okay, great. So I said, oh, this is my homegirl. He's like, oh, yeah. She's like, I'm like, her name is Lisa. I introduced her as Lisa. She's like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Lisa, whatever. And then she sits down. So she sits down and she's just chilling. We just chilling, whatever. He's like, so what you doing tonight? What y'all doing tonight? I said, we didn't really have any plans. He was like, oh, you want to go to the studio with me? I said, no, I don't go to studios. He was like, oh, well, like, we can go eat or something, but I got a session in a couple hours. I said, yeah, we can go eat. That's fine. No issue. Okay? No issue. So then somebody that we mutually know comes down to the pool. Okay? Now, I don't know what the hell these people were doing, but they were scamming the hell out the Mondrian because it seemed like they was living there. Because every time I came in town to Miami, they was at the Mondrian, bro. Like, it was crazy. But anyways, so this person that we mutually knew, me, her, and him knew, comes downstairs and he says hi to all of us. He's like, oh, how you know him? I'm like, oh, yeah, he cool people. I met him through another friend in Atlanta, da-da-da. So they end up getting up, the 2 dudes. They walk away. They start talking. So he comes up to me. He said, oh, so you dance? And I was like, yeah, I do. So he's like, oh, well, and he tried me. And this is where he fucked up at, okay? Meet me at the next part. Story time part 2 about how I fell out with my homegirl in Miami. Okay. So anyways, at this point, he goes and talks to the guy that we mutually know. He comes back. He's like, oh, so you dance? And I'm like, yeah, I dance. I dance in Atlanta or whatever. I might even dance out here. I don't know. So he opens up his bag and he's like, why don't we just go to my room right now? And I said, you couldn't afford it. Because at this point in life, I had my own little situation going on. I danced every now and then, but I wasn't pressed to link up with nobody, if that makes sense. Especially nobody pressed to just meet a girl at the pool and say, let's go upstairs. Red flag. You're too pressed for the cat, So anyways, from here, he said, yeah, we gonna see. So anyways, he was like, I'm gonna go get dressed. You go get dressed. We'll go to dinner before I go to my session. Okay, cool. We go back upstairs. I'm telling my homegirl, like, he's nice. He's cute or whatever. I only know one song of his, though. Ever. And so she's like, yeah, he seems cool or whatever. Seems. Keep that. Listen to my words. And I'm telling y'all, okay? So at this point, I start getting dressed. Okay, cool, I'm dressed. So he ends up telling me, hey, I'm downstairs in the lobby. We about to go. I go downstairs. I get in the truck. Now, red flag number 2. When I get in the truck, it's the driver, security in the front seat, his friend, me in the middle, him, and 2 more guys in the back. I'm already irritated how you moving. Because how I'm used to moving is that if I'm with somebody that's of stature, we're in a truck separately, and his homeboys is behind us in their own truck. Right now, we ain't here like some damn sardines. I'm actually very irritated. I don't like it. But I'm like, you know what, Courtney, stop being bougie. You're not going to get the same treatment from everybody because a lot of these niggas don't know how to move, right? Okay, cool. So I'm like, what are we still sitting here for? He said, I'm waiting for a bulletproof truck. My people supposed to be sending me a bulletproof truck, but they ain't answering the phone. I'm like, oh, I know somebody with a bulletproof truck out here. So I call my people. I'm like, hey, I got somebody who needs a bulletproof truck. What's the price? Dude tells me it's $5K. So I'm like, yeah, he said it's $5K. He like, man. And so I'm like, I'll call you back. So I hang up. We sat in front of this hotel for 45 minutes. Now I'm hangry and I'm irritated, and I shouldn't have waited that motherfucker long anyways. So now I'm like, it's getting late. Don't you got a session? We need to go. He was like, the dude ain't answering. I said, just pay the $5K. If your life is important and you want a bulletproof truck, just pay the $5K. Because at the end of the day, we're not going to be able to go to dinner. He said, yeah, we probably just have to go straight to the studio. I said, I'm not going to the studio. I'm not. I'm not at all. And at this point, I have an attitude. So he's like, at the end of the day, we still gonna just be chilling. I'll have some food brought there. No. Because the thing about it is that I don't know what studio you're going to, first of all. Second of all, me hanging in studio days are over. But also, I'm not pulling up to no studio with you. You might be going to motherfucking this one, that one, this label on that one. I just don't got time. I don't got time. Okay? And, one golden rule is that I never really got seen outside with other men of that kind of status. And he wasn't that much of status, like I said, compared to... But I definitely wasn't about to be seen out, publicly, for real, or in any type of setting that I know that my little shit could find out about this shit, right? Okay, cool. So we're sitting in the car, and I'm like, bro, just do the $5K truck so we can leave. And he's like, no, my people, they gonna pull up. I said, you know what? So we're not going to eat. Because what time does your session start? He was like, my session start in an hour. I said, yeah, we're not going to make it to the restaurant, eat, and then you make it there on time. And my thing is that I don't trust men. Because what I know a man will do, and I felt like he was about to do this, is he'll say, oh, yeah, we're going to go eat, and then he'll just pull up to the studio. Then I'll be away from my hotel room, out of my comfort, probably have to order a car back to my hotel room. So I just said, you know what, I'm good on this. So he I don't give a fuck. Goodbye. I get out the truck. I go back upstairs. My homegirl in the room, okay? So she's getting dressed or whatever. I wasn't really sure what she had going on, but I'm like, yeah, I'm telling her what just happened. So I'm telling her what just happened, and she's doing her hair or whatever. She was like, tell me why he just messaged me. He's actually already messaged me before, but we ain't really do nothing or nothing. And I'm like, so why did you reintroduce yourself earlier? Why? Now my mind is going. My mind is. Why you didn't say nothing? Why you didn't say nothing all this time? Why you didn't say nothing while I was getting dressed? So she's like, yeah, he telling me to come hang out with him, that you tripping, da-da-da. And I'm like, I wasn't tripping. I just told you the whole story, but do what you want, girl. Mind you, me and her, we have been... So I'm looking at her sideways right now because why didn't you tell me, And I just feel like that's weird. So from here, whatever, I end up going down to the actual hotel restaurant, eating, coming back up. When I come back up, it's just she acted like she was about to be going somewhere, but she never went anywhere. Never went anywhere. I didn't go nowhere either. So next day I wake up. I'm like, you want to go to the pool? She was like, oh, I might come down a little bit. I'm like, okay, cool. I go down to the pool. I tan. I'm chilling. I'm vibing. Why I get on the elevator to come up from the pool hours later, and I see her coming out of another like hotel room, catty corner to ours. And I'm like, girl, mind you, she only had her one duffel bag. So when she came out the hotel room, it looked like she was wearing like booty shorts and a tank top, pretty much. Like some pull up and get this type of clothing, okay? So I'm like, where are you coming from? So we get inside the room or whatever, and she's like, oh, that was Tevin's room. He told me to come by or whatever. And I'm like, first of all, I didn't know we was on the same floor. Second of all, so instead of you coming to the pool, you had already created plans to go hang out with this dude, the same dude that I just had an argument with and told you about the whole situation. Okay. So for me, I'm like, okay, girl, like, whatever, do what you want to do. So next thing I know, I'm just chilling, I'm just vibing or whatever. I get in the shower, I just like kind of throw on something. She's like, oh yeah, my yaya that picked us up from the airport, he's about to pull up on us. And I'm like, pull up on us for what? She was like, oh, he just want to come see me real quick and he's gonna bring me some of my stuff. He got her some new shoes, those same new shoes, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. So at this point, he ends up coming up to the room, okay? They're in her room. We have a 2-bedroom suite, so the bedrooms are actually fully separate. It's not just like a 2-bedroom double bed type of situation. So they're in the room, and my thing is, at this point, like, she was a drinker, okay? A bad drinker, an emotional drinker, a crier drinker, okay? And she had already been drinking by the time I got back from the pool. So anyways, they're in there. I know what they're doing. They're getting whatever, okay? So I'm sitting in the living room, just kind of watching TV. I'm putting together my plans, what I'm doing tonight, where I'm going. I'm seeing my little, whatever. So next thing I know, it's just silence. So then he comes out the room by himself and goes on the patio and starts rolling up. So then I'm not saying nothing to him because what, me? I don't see, nothing. So he opens the patio door. He's like, hey, you want to hit this or whatever? And I'm like, no, I can hit a little blunt or whatever. So I go out to the patio. I'm smoking with him. He just talking to me or whatever. He's just asking me about myself or whatever. And I'm just, casual talk, casual, harmless, nothing, okay? She wakes up out of her sleep, comes and busts open the patio door. And she's like, y'all are weird. Y'all are weird. Y'all are so weird. And I'm like, how are we weird? I'm like, girl, go to sleep. You're drunk. So she's like, no. And she was, oh my gosh, she was sloppy drunk. Like, to be honest, like, it just wasn't that. So then she says, you can't talk to her anyway because she talks to da-da-da. And she says my little yaya's name. So I'm looking at her like, girl, what? So now she done irritated me. You done blew me. And me, I get on. I get on, okay? So me, as I'm sitting there, like, he like, man, you tripping, like, you didn't even do that, whatever. So he ends up about to leave, and when he's leaving, I hear her say, like, you got that for me? He was like, I'm gonna pull back up on you later, I got you. You just let this man come in his hotel room that me and you paid for, and he didn't give you no money? And I know what y'all was just doing? Anyways, so at this point, I'm irritated. And I'm like, I'm going to leave. Like, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave in the morning. Like, I'm not staying here with her. Like, this is weird. My energy is off. She's just being weird. Like, no, weird. I'm getting on. And so anyways, that rest of the night, I ended up going out with somebody else. And I ended up linking up with my little yaya. Okay? So I go out. I link up my yaya. I get my little, my little bread. And then I end up going back to the hotel room the next morning. Okay? So when I go back to the hotel the next morning, 2 out of 2 is insane, okay? And when I say the next morning, I want to say like 12. I go back, like I'm going on the elevator. I get off the elevator. When I get off the elevator, she's walking out of Tevin's room again. Okay? So me, I go to the room. I start just packing my stuff up because I got a flight in 4 hours. Okay, in 4 hours. She don't even know. To be honest, like I already told the hotel room I'm checking out, and I'm not even like I wasn't even gonna tell her I'm checking out. You just gotta put another card on the room because I'm leaving. Like you're weird. So, anyways, I'm like, when I go over, I'm like, dang, like, but she comes out and it's like the same thing. She don't got no personal nothing, like no money in sight. Long story short, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have been trying to count pockets, but bitch, I don't see no money. And at the end of the day, like, now I'm looking at you a little sideways. Meet me at part 3. It'll be the last part, okay? I will finish it. Story time part 3 about how I fell out with my homegirl in Miami, okay? So anyways, at this point, like I said, I had just got off the elevator. And once again, I see her coming out of Tevin's room. And I'm like, girl. So I end up going to the room. She's going back in the room or whatever. And I'm just like, what's going on? Like, and she was like, nothing. I was just going to go see if, like, he told me to pull up. He still owed me some money from the other day. You ain't got paid yet by either person. And you was back to back to back with it. I'm looking at you sideways. I'm looking at you like you got bad cat management. I'm looking at you like, why am I out here with you? I'm in disgust, you know? And so now at this point, like, I'm just like, he didn't give you no money. Mind you, remember when we was at the pool, he opened up his bag. It was like $100,000 in that bag. And he was like, I got you right now. Like, we can go to the room. And I said, nah. Because at the end of the day, where I was at point in life, like, I didn't mind to date other people of stature, but I wasn't just going to give up the cat. I couldn't, because I never knew who knew me and who knew who I dealt with. So it made me very, like, nervous. You get what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm just looking at her like in pure disgust. Like, you ain't even worked since you've been out here. You done been with, you get what I'm saying? Looking at her sideways. So I'm like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, why didn't he just give you cash? So she was like, I don't know. He just said he was going to Zelle me, but then he told me to come over this morning, and I did. And I said, oh. She was like, but then, like, all he wanted to do was go again. And I'm like, did you? And she was like, I mean, yeah, but, like, he got hella bread. I know he going to pay me. And I'm like, okay, I guess. So long story short, from there, I like start kind of like getting my stuff together, but she does not know that I'm leaving. She tells me, I'm gonna be right back. He told me to come back again. Like, and she keeps saying this to me, like, she's not realizing my energy is off. And we have been around each other long enough for her to realize that, girl, I'm looking at you sideways, like, for real. Like, I'm really not fucking with you right now. And it's like, for me, her to come tell me, oh, I'm about to go see Tevin again. I'm like, girl, you know? So anyways, as she goes to see Tevin again, I pack up all my stuff and I go to the airport and I leave. And I don't talk to her no more. And that's how we fell out, because she was weird. Yeah. And I don't know if he ever zelled her. I don't know if the other dude ever brought her some bread back the next day. I don't know. But it's like there was a situation before that with her as well, where I ended up talking to this football player. He flew us out. He got a mini jet. If you remember, I posted a picture. It was like, I want to say, never mind. Let me not even speak on, because I don't know where the picture's at. Y'all might go find it. But anyways, this football player flew us out. She messed the whole play up. The whole play up. Crying like, you're my girlfriend and I love you. And she literally scared the nigga away, like, messed the whole thing up. But anyway, so that was story time. Let me know if y'all want more story times. I know y'all do. I haven't decided if it's gonna be in my subs or if I'm gonna post it publicly. But anyways, I just thought about that because I was scrolling my timeline and I saw the little rapper dude. And yeah, anyways, that's how I fell out with my homegirl / scissor buddy. And yeah, she's a weirdo. You're a weirdo to this day. And to be honest, maybe I should do the story time about what really made us fall out, because we fell out about that, but we ended up being cool when you came back. But the shit that happened after that, I should have gave y'all all these story times. But I told y'all, I gotta see it to remember it. Anyways, bye y'all.